Today's video is brought to you by Raycon earbuds, which are really great for drowning out the guy revving the car past my house while I'm making videos. Ladies and gentlemen, Raycon is disrupting the electronics industry by providing premium quality audio at about half the price. Raycon also comes in numerous colors. You don't just have to go with white, you can go with whatever you want under the sun. So you can get a more fashionable fit that comes in a glorious wire-free setting. The company was also co-founded by Ray J, and it features simping from Snoop Dogg and multiple other artists. Raycon also has a 45-day free return policy, so you got over a month to really get acclimated. If you don't like it, feel free to return it. Now, Raycon earbuds gives me about 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bassiness than I expected, and a compact design for a comfortable noise-isolating fit. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you want some day-to-day comfortability and some premium quality audio, then Raycons are a very, very good way to go. Ladies and gentlemen, please click on the link in the description below, buyraycon.com/someordinarygamers, and get 15% off your Raycon purchase. Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're diving into some Roblox Mythos, that's for sure. Now today's video could all be about a Roblox demonic cult indeed. Now that being said, ladies and gents, before we get into this, we have to first look at the Roblox Mythos community. For those of you who don't know, Roblox creepypastas, Roblox Mythos are in fact its own science. One could have a 4-year university degree talking about the exact depths of how deep these rabbit holes go. Some of them are very popular. There have been communities dedicated specifically to uncovering mythical locations in the world of Robloxia throughout the world, right? If that sounds cringe to you, there are communities of 300,000 to 400,000 members actively working on uncovering this stuff. It's actually quite cool. Now, some of these are really, really popular. Like, as far as I know, I think it's like one of them is Guest 666, which is one of the most popular Roblox creepypasta phenomenons, but some of them are a little unknown and actually quite recent. Today's case is Gelechild. Now, this breadcrumb trail starts off obviously on Roblox with one server specifically known as Smile. Now, of course, you can see Smile by what appears to be Zalgified characters. Very closely, we're going to go and call this Mothboy, okay? This is what we're going to call this string of characters. Mothboy, as you know, is what is apparently referred to as Gelechild, but I like to call it Mothboy because they're Zalgifying things, and I'm going to go with my interpretation. Now, of course, you can see the description is /E, pray. Now, of course, /E, I believe, is the emote command, and pray, of course, you fucking know what it is. They're praying like a motherfucker. Now let's go look around with what's going on. Currently there are 67 players playing. It is favorited 33,000 times with nearly 2 million visits right now. It's created 5/10/2020, which makes this a very recent affair, even so far as to being updated less than a week ago of time of recording. Now, the max amount of people are going to be 25. It's got a genre of horror, and ladies and gentlemen, before we get into it, the game badges themselves tell you that you are a very happy individual. Thank you for joining me in this reality. Midway, was Green Door the way to ascension, or shall you descend? And then you've got this Japanese string of characters, which tells you have clipped back into reality. Impressive. Implying that this is the actual completion point as far as I know, with 100% freebie being basically individuals who I think have just signed on to this game. Now, of course, you can go to the store page and give them Robux and buy your way to Ascension, buy your way to the wrong way, to this, to Centipede, and all the way to the light. Now, some of you may recognize these creepypasta characters and portraits and images, but we'll get to that as due time comes. Now, to understand, signing onto the server, and the footage you're about to see was captured on mobile platforms, because there was no way that, as much as I love Roblox, I'm not going to bother installing this onto my computer because it's just a weird PC setup going on. That's completely besides the point. Regardless, I connected to the server on mobile, and boy, oh boy, was it a creepy server indeed. Now, effectively, it's one straight shot, you know, you could say. It's one hallway that you spawn into. Now, all horror is effectively sucked out because you're spawning next to individuals with player names that are hilarious to begin with. But as you're going down this hallway, you know, that you spawned into, you end up getting into this field. Now, this field has a pretty broad exploration. You know, you can go left, right, but eventually you're gonna want to head straight into the fields. Eventually, going far enough, you start seeing these weird floating mask faces. And yes, it is indeed as creepy as you would expect Roblox to be. At this point, I started encountering other players, and there was some brief platforming that I had to realize. Some would call this an obby, which is a Roblox obstacle course, for those of you who didn't know. Now you do. Eventually, I made my way to this weird creepypasta face. But wait a minute, you might ask. Haven't I recognized that creepypasta face somewhere? Some of you astute people out there would be right. It is, in fact, Henobarbus Henoside, a creepypasta face that some of you will know if you've been in that community long enough. But of course, the more I closed into this face, I was sent to the depths of a hellish dimension that had me at the edge of my pants, my seat completely littered with piss and shit indeed. Now, of course, when you spawn into this location, you are greeted with absolute what would hell look like. Faces plastered all over the walls. No audio indeed. And what appears to be one crazy mamacita walking and floating towards any player that would spawn into this hellhole below. Now, I don't know what happens when this character comes floating towards you. I was too fucking scared to get near her, so I decided to fuck right off and run towards the straight center. As you can see, that's a pretty common theme with this whole scenario. Now, as I was walking through the center, I was given text commands floating in the air like some fucking Death Stranding nonsense, which told me to run, and then to run, and then to run. And finally, I was given Zalgified characters. Again, run. That was probably the coolest thing that I've seen, no doubt. Once I got all the way to the end, I fell through this hole into what appeared to be another long stretch of a hallway. As I ran down the hallway, can I tell you, by the way, this has like half upvotes? You can tell why, all right? There's not a whole lot of gameplay variety. But as I walked my way straight, I eventually reached this altar. Now, this altar, I tried praying to it, I tried doing everything, I tried doing /e jerk off, until I realized that maybe it was the fact that I was playing on my own. Now, normally in this scenario, I could probably kidnap a couple friends of mine and force them to play Roblox with me, but I didn't have such luck, okay? Even my friends have their fucking limits. I finally realized that you needed an entire fucking group to get into it. So this is where, in this part of the video, I'm going to leave it to my good online YouTube friend and internet personality, fucking Shadow Lynx, who currently is sitting at 3,500 subscribers. If we can get this buddy up to maybe 10,000, I know that might be a bit of a fucking stretch, but if you can get him up, that would be great. All right, god damn. Let me chug a little bit of God's good G Fuel. Whoa! That stuff perks me up. Let's get right into it, boys. Now, of course, you've got Shadow Lynx with his friends just chilling around the location. You know, nothing to really add into. I guess they're all going to pray together. Just forwarding through this nonsense a little bit, eventually they get teleported to what I believe is the haunted school above, where pentagrams and weird cultish symbols are placed. Now, you might notice at some point he has a knife, but he can communicate with an NPC and ask, grab it and go, we have stuff to do. And there's actually a fucking dialogue system as well. Grab the girl. Ho-ho, it's getting a little spicy, isn't it? God damn. Roblox and kidnapping, a match made in heaven, right, boys and girls? Of course, you can see these ever-loving fucking Roblox paranormal experts finally get towards the end, where they're appearing. It appears to be that there's creepypasta characters all throughout and shitty JPEGs spread across the ground. Finally, they get to the end where it says, off the beaten path. And then you can respond in Japanese, as above, so far below. I think they're also referencing a fucking amazing Netflix movie, by the way, too. But it is the end for this scenario. I want to thank Shadow Lynx for providing the footage, for going the extra mile to come across all this content. Show them some love for sure. They definitely put a lot more effort into uncovering the mysteries of this fucking mythos, more so than anyone else I have ever seen. Of course, let's go back to our Mothman, all right? Let's look at what the developer is all about. Now, of course, the developer for this wants to shout out the channel Gelechild. Now, this is where the breadcrumb trail gets a little deeper than expected. Gelechild's bio page pretty much tells you something called diphenhydramine. DPH is in blank with anticholinergic and blank effects. It is found in both over-the-counter and prescription drugs used in the treatment of allergy-related symptoms. Now, I don't want to play Mad Lib Crackhead Edition, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is getting to be just a bit weird. And then there are multiple games. You've got Smile, which we just saw and played, but then you've also got A Room. Now, you might be like, well, what's that all about? Don't worry, I logged into it, and it literally is just that. A room with some pretty relaxed soundtracks running across the board, but it does offer a slight message. Is this room the one does this room remind you of necessarily anything? To which I'm going to be fucking real with you, the room didn't remind me of anything at all. However, when I walked up to this grandiose doorway that I couldn't exactly do anything with, there were like fucking eyes floating out of the doorway as particle effects. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but clearly it might have some deeper hidden meaning. At least hidden meaning that I couldn't fucking uncover. God damn. Now, interestingly enough, when you go to Gelechild, you have two options, all right? You can see that immediately this character joined. This account was created in 2013. So for anybody wondering if this is like a new age deal, no. This account is as old as this channel itself, believe it or not. This is kind of insane. So one can say that this is some like long-term operation that was occurring, or this account was made that long ago and now it was changed to the Gelechild system, or the Gelechild like brand, if you will. If you go onto the mobile website, for some reason, yes, my name is Muda Likes Fuda, thank you, please call it out as much as you can. But if you go into the mobile application, you can see that they have two social links, right? They have one for the Twitter account and one for the Discord account, right? Now, of course, these are all binary numbers and whatnot, but we're going to go into each and every single one of these accounts. The first one, though, we're going to go to is the Discord. So immediately at the Gelechild Discord, you can immediately get into the beginning of the server where they have this GIF from what I believe to be Nana's channel. This is, I believe, a GIF from that scenario, right? Now, if you look into the rules real quick, this is where like the whole cult argument gets a little weird. So follow the rules mindlessly. Okay, number one, follow terms of service. I believe this is just Discord TOS. Number two is Japanese text. Let's give this a translation real quick. God bless Google Translate. Follow the struck road. Whatever the fuck that means. English only outside of international. No Japanese. All right, we got it. So no Japanese, even though rule number 2 was in Japanese. Thank you. This is not a cult, never will be a cult, and has never been a cult. Oh, God, really? But then look at the next point. Become legion with us. Know what to believe in. What the? So are you a cult or are you not? Really, what the fuck? You want me to believe in shit, but you're not about it? All right. You're sounding a little, giving me some mixed signals, I'd say. Stop asking mods for help. If you wish for help, go to #help. Obviously, help would be like the puzzle that they have created in this like hallway game that they've made, which, again, constantly gets updated. So it is kind of like an ARG territory. Helping people is a bannable offense. Please take help with a grain of salt. No streaming Smile gameplay in VC. I guess I also have rule number 9, which is keep memes out of general, right, boys? Now, of course, in the news section, they're always covering updates for the system, right? For instance, this is an updated leak of like a Roblox character, Gelechild, hanging out in an open field, what appears to be a beheaded fucking character. Of course, you can see you've got a baby as one object, a flashlight, head, and hands. Fucking normal, right? Then you've got a lot of GIFs of stuff like this. I don't know if this is the Gelechild like characters or the mascots, but it is genuinely unnerving shit. Of course, let's go to general real quick. In the general chat, it appears to just be memes, like they're sharing photos of Mustangs. You've got individuals telling people to leave. You've got individuals saying, "Fuck you, Zach." All right, goddamn, it's a real hostile fucking server now, isn't it? Hey guys, please stop talking. I have to suck cock real quick. Oh man, I gotta screen these before I look into them, right? Of course, Gelechild is over here proving that this, in fact, server is owned by the individual. Also linking to the Twitter account, which is verified in this entire Discord profile. Gallery is where they share some really weird photos. So let's look at some of these. You got these moth characters, you've got the same creepypasta mascots, and slowly it starts deranging into like pure fucking nightmare fuel. to the point where, like, I really don't know how to gauge these. Like, this image alone freaks the ever-loving fuck out of me, and I don't know why. You've also got characters that are related to the Rake, which is a pretty popular creepypasta from back in the day. Like, imagine coming across this, you know, late at night. That's fucking bad. But then what's really common though is when you get these like characters with one eye and like this tooth structure going on over here, this like dental plan that you're witnessing. These are the most common sort of characters, right? And then you've got more recognizable characters, like I believe this is like Eyeless Jack. So yeah, man, I'm really dating myself at this point. This is actually quite nostalgic. But yeah, this is her Discord channel, and a lot of it does in fact contain some blatant racism as well. Like, this entire channel that I've blurred out has pretty much an N-word for every line that you're going down, okay? So if you do go onto the server and you have like an issue with like racist language, you probably might not want to hit it up. Just putting it out there. Now, this is where the next breadcrumb trail follows into this weird demon cult server that's, I guess, not really a cult, but at the same time is. This leads us to Gelechild's Twitter account. Now, if you don't know Gelechild's Twitter account is a channel that has been formed in June 2020, around the formation of this game. Now, T, you've got Japanese character that translates to down, A369 as the bio, and then the word down again, location is below. It links to the Discord channel that we just looked at right now, the same Discord server. It follows one account, which I can't exactly confirm who it is. Gelechild follows one person, but has 345 followers. Now, the pinned tweet over here is kind of a little interesting, so let's give this video a watch. The video says, I killed myself the other day. I killed myself and buried my body underneath the floorboards. I don't really remember where. I don't want to remember. Okay, let's watch this video real quick. It's just transmitting live.
To bleed from God's attacks. I'm really trying to heal him, but I have no experience with dissection, and he can't feel pain, and it's coming out of his mouth, and if he dies, you can watch him die. You're getting sick. Give me the knife.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for anybody who's trying to figure out the lore of this scenario, it's really difficult to decipher. Really, it's just a mishmash of creepypasta JPEGs and what appears to be just edited footage of like some obscure news story to make it look kind of freaky. You know, we're replacing like, you know, eyeballs with teeth and all that nonsense. And I don't know what really the transmissions are all about, but this was actually created June 19th. So this is as old as the actual game itself. So this is what we first started off with. Let's go down and see just any post, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go scroll down, we're going to look at these posts, and we're going to see the level of degeneration from top to bottom. I blacked out on Datura and awoke to Moth. It's my subconscious telling me something. I've developed an issue. Serotonin syndrome. 17 days left. And of course, we're still counting down, aren't we? Now, what's interesting over here is the word Datura. If you look into Datura itself, you can see that Datura is often known as Jimson weed, devil's trumpet, moonflower, and toloake, right? Now, Datura is a plant from the nightshade family with sweet-scented and trumpet-shaped flowers, known across the world for their potential as a poison, medicine, and entheogen. Datura thrives throughout the globe in tropical and temperate climates, sometimes even in strange conditions, like near landfills and roadsides. So clearly it's a very, you know, resilient plant. Clearly it can grow in a lot of places that you rather wouldn't expect it to, right? Does it produce tolerance? Yes, it takes roughly 2 weeks to return to baseline sensitivity, and there's a cross-tolerance effect with other deliriants, including diphenhydramine, which is also known as Benadryl, and myristicin, which comes out from nutmeg. So it's related in a way, but Datura, for those of you who really don't know, Datura is very potent, and I think Nexpo actually has a video which focuses on a user talking about taking Datura from the drug subreddit and completely disappearing. Whether they took Datura or not, and whether the Datura caused them to disappear for good or for not, is a whole separate story, and I would rather you watch his video than me explaining that even further. But yes, this is where the Datura mentions come from, and this is where the more we look into this Twitter account, the the more Datura is going to be mentioned. Now, I'm quite the delirious fellow. Again, deliriance? We just got off this drug conversation, but you can see, like, you've got shadow figures, right? So get off my couch. Get the fuck off my couch, which takes you to this image of hell, I would say, right? It appears to be an apartment building with just darkness and shadow creatures all around. And then you've got another mention of diphenhydramine, DPH, which is an antihistamine with anticholinergic and sedative effect. It is found in over-the-counter prescription drugs. Again, the image they're relating it to is this apartment image with hands over the windows, just well, a relatively clean table, this fucking Shrek character sitting by the couch, and then PlayStation 2 logos on top of this gated door. Again, what correlations any of this has, I don't know, but clearly somebody believed that there are some facts involved into it, so God bless. Again, Datura gets mentioned right after this. All species of Datura are poisonous and potentially psychoactive, especially their seeds and the flowers, which can cause respiratory depression. And of course, they show a flag of where I believe this Datura grows, which is all over Canada but our Northwestern Territories. And you've got all this, all of the United States, effectively growing Datura around, right? But don't let the Datura freak you out, buccos, because then we get even deeper with what I believe to be is pretty cancelable territory regarding conspiracy theories. All of my neighbors are glowing. Thank God this isn't getting up to Terry Davis levels. Hashtag targeted individuals at Amnesty UA, free from torture, reprieve, justice HQ, liberty HQ, anti-slavery. Yes, we are getting into targeted individual territory. If you remember a video I made back in the day where we looked at actual people who were fucking targeted, people who believed the government was after them, this is relating a lot to that, okay? Then you've got, when does this street end? I don't know, brother. Gravity would fuck you up when you get to that point. Hello, Twitter. And, of course, these are just GIFs that pertain directly to Gelechild. Get rid of your teeth. The numbers, Mason. The numbers fuck with my head. Centipede, initiated, accelerated back hop. Get it off. Oh my God, shut the fuck up. I have too many hands. Sometimes you get really normal updates, like just opinion on the update to the game, right? Which is kind of a fucking stark, like, it's just kind of like a stark departure from all the shit that we read so far, right? Watch me start to bleed from God's attack. I'm really trying to heal him, but I have no experience with dissection, and he can't feel pain, and it's coming out of his mouth, and if he dies, you can watch him die. You're getting sick. Give me the knife. Give me the knife. A song or a riddle? You decide, audience. Eating all the kids. Vor. I am not an obscenity. Same. Must I keep repeating myself? Hide things and they will be found. Fine then, I'll do it myself. Fuck it. And then this is where things get really just unnerving, where you've got like Pussy Slayer, and then he's sharing photos of like Canadian serial killer and animal torture, Luca Magnotta. So this is, I don't know if he's like timing this with like some crazy like, conspiracy theory, but this is like November 8th, 2020. At this point, he wasn't really even relevant. So again, I don't know, maybe it's just to be edgy for sure. Then you've got What a Wonderful World, which this image I don't recognize, all right? And I've been looking at creepypasta imagery for a while. I don't recognize this, so this might be a unique piece of media related just to Gelechild. I've met with a terrible fate. Going back to Ben Majora Mask. Here's our impression of you fucking idiots. None of you are targeted individuals. You're spreading a message and nothing more. You're not being stalked. Stop gang stalking me, motherfuck. Alright, well, clearly they're disavowing it right where it hurts. Now, earlier we said this wasn't a cult, but I feel like this message sort of shies away from that a lot. God bends me over and plants my seed. I become sick. He smites me with the same rod of iron. I stand up against him with all my might, but nothing succeeds. All my bones feel the lash, and my people cry out in anguish before the Lord. Do they? Watch me start to bleed from God's attacks. I'm really trying to heal him, but I have no experience with dissection. And of course, we just read these. Now we're getting weirder. They used to tell us he's watching you and he loves you. I used to believe him. Turns out he was actually watching the other way. You just sat back and watched it happen. You did nothing. You could have saved him. You could have saved me. Instead, you did nothing. Some of yous have never dissociated, and it shows. I wish I could honestly live in the reality you live in for just 5 minutes, because my God, that would make my life entirely worth it, I'd say. This is where like this whole story pretty much delves into just creepier to creepier to creepier to creepier. Now, the breadcrumb trail unfortunately starts to dry up at this point, right? But it's clearly a mythos which started off in a really like weird Roblox game where you're walking straight down the narrow, all the way to a Discord server, which is, again, seemingly innocent for a Roblox server. But then I think the real cream of the crop in this whole creepy scenario is this Twitter account. And again, this gets consistently updated with the lore that keeps growing. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who've never popped your cherry on the Roblox Mythos hunting group, this is a Roblox Mythos video. And given how this entire scenario is playing out, we might deserve an update. Gelechild is a story that continues to develop. And as Gelechild is developing, its story and its origins are getting darker than one might have imagined. One where demonic cults, snuff, and animal abuse become the fucking norm. One that starts to dissociate and creates alternate fucking realities to explore and potentially live in, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I'm looking too deep into what appears to be just an online cringe fest. Maybe the G Fuel Tower keeps getting taller and taller per video. Or maybe this is exactly what I'm imagining and it's just going to keep getting wilder as we get down. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Gelechild Roblox mystery right there. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.